we saw you in the Kanye documentary briefly, right?
Yeah.
What emotions did that bring up in you? And looking back at that, like, how does that inform how you think about the artists that you deal with when you see somebody like Kanye that very few people believed in, but it was so obvious to him that he had this potential?
That shit ain't bring up no emotion in me. Because I remember that. Look, this the thing about the Kanye shit, bro. And I tweeted some shit about it, and everybody, like, people from every publication was trying to interview me on it.
Because you said that actually that was like the 10th time that Kanye had come and played those records in the office, right?
So what people they interpreted that as is that he sat in the office that day and played the song 10 times for people. No. I'm going to tell you exactly how this shit used to work, Adam. Def Jam is on 50th and 8th Avenue. It's a big building. It's probably like fucking 40 floors in there.
Right.
It's Universal was in there, right? But Rockefeller had like a cubicle space like from like a L, boom, boom, right? Then you had Murder Inc. on that floor. You had Tough Gong, which was Bob Marley's label. It was like most of the Bloodline, DMX's label. Most of the people that had joint ventures had office space.
Okay.
Right. So then that was the 29th floor. 30th floor was Universal. Then the 27th and 28th floor was all Def Jam. It was all Def Jam. So the first time I met Kanye was like, I think it was 01. Or it might have been the beginning of 02. And he was just walking through the office. I was an intern. And he was like, I said, yo, you Kanye West, right? And he was like, yeah. I said, you do the beats, right? You did it. Because he had this spread in the sauce with him going like this. And he had all the shit he produced on his arm, tattooed. So I was like, you do the beats? He's like, yeah, I rap too. He rapped for me for 8 minutes. This is nothing I could do for him. I kid you not. First time I met Kanye, he rapped for me for 8 minutes. But the thing was, he rapped for me for 8 minutes. Then I go to 27. He had playing Pat and Ferris Bueller, they cubicle, rapping for them. You go to 28, he in front of Leo Cole in office, rapping for whoever's the fucking intern there. He would do that shit everywhere. So yeah, when he first did it, amazing. The first shit he ever rapped to me was All Falls Down, Jesus Walks, and some other shit. I don't know if it ever came out. But he used to come at this time in 02, when he used to come to the office, phones ain't even have cameras on them. So imagine like right now, Adam, if a motherfucker walk in your space right now with their phone out, you'll be like, what the fuck is you doing?
Right.
Yo, chill. He used to come there with a camera crew. It was the what's the dude name? Chike or Cootie?
Cootie, yeah.
Cootie. I didn't even know
was
who
the other
Cootie,
one.
at that time. I mean, I was a kid. I didn't know who Cootie was, but he used to come in there. It used to be him, John Legend all the time, Consequence. Consequence was always with him, John Legend. He used to have Talib Kweli with him a lot. And a few other people. Don C. And he would walk around with it. Now, what I will give him credit for is, yeah, he was ahead. But imagine, like, so the reason why I started tweeting when I was tweeting is because Chaka Pilgrim, who she was the head of marketing, who's helped tons of people and was one of Kanye's biggest advocates when he was signed to that label, he just busted in her office that day and just turned the song on while she in the middle of handling something.
Yeah.
So imagine, and Chaka always get the short end of the stick with shit.
Yeah.
Because it's like she's going viral for mad times, like on Backstage, that documentary, that's like Jay like pushing her, like, you know what I mean? And people put that clip up like, oh, look at Jay-Z punching this girl in the face. They grew up together, they like brother and sister.
Right.
So they play fighting and shit on the road, but people always twist shit about Chaka. So when I started saying what I was saying, it was because Chaka is not a person that's ever gonna do an interview. I know her. While everybody out here, all these kids that grew up on Kanye might not give a fuck about her, I do. And I think it's unfair for people to say that she didn't believe in him, because that's not true.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's not true. But Kanye used to, yo, bro, he would come in here right now. And I don't give a fuck, you could be interviewing me. He'll come in here and be like, yo, I got this new song y'all got to hear right now. And just turn the shit on. You be like, yo, what the fuck is doing we having a meeting?
But isn't there a little bit of that you would want an artist that you sign these days to have where...
No. Absolutely not.
But a little bit of that persistence.
No, I would love for an artist to have the confidence. His confidence...
Right.
And his mom, one thing I would say about his mother, I had the privilege of meeting his mother when I was younger, when I was 19. His mother would, hey, young man, how you doing? She was a very respectful lady. She always showed everybody in the office love, and he loved his mom. I could honestly say I sat there and witnessed it. But I had people telling me what was going on in that documentary. I'm on the clip. I remember that day. And that wasn't the only day he did it. But, dude, I want artists to have that. I want them to have the confidence. But at the same time, you having confidence, Kanye not only he has confidence, he has arrogance, and he could be disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, I don't want you coming in. I don't want you coming in my office and kicking the fucking door down while I'm in the middle of a call and telling some. And not saying that happened in that clip, but this is shit that happens.
But there is something to be gained from getting the whole label staff, like all the people in the office, excited about your music, right? Like, that's not gonna make Dame or Jay say, all right, let's get that project out in a couple months or whatever. But it could help to energize the momentum, right?
I don't know the timeline and I see Cootie he closer to Kanye than I was. He was around Kanye more than I was. But I will say this: in 2002, when Kanye did that "Get Well Soon" mixtape, right, hosted by DJ Enough, that was paid for by Rockefeller. It was white labeled by Rockefeller. Rockefeller put it out. It's before he signs his deal, right? Not only is he signed to Rockefeller as a producer, and he's getting a nice amount of money. I'm not going to disclose how much because I know how much it was. Because he produced Jay-Z's album, he's now going across the street to any other label and charging them out the ass for whatever he's producing. Also, in 2002, remember the Champions?
The song?
The song?
Yeah.
Right? I'm talking about the one, not the one that Kanye did with 2 Chainz and all that. I'm talking about the one with Kanye, Young Chris, Beanie Siegel, and Cameron, and Twister. Dame put him, when we was doing a Paid in Full soundtrack, Dame puts him on that. Kanye was at every video shoot. Like, bro, like for people to say that the narrative is pushed as like Rockefeller didn't believe in him.
Right.
Of course, there was people that wanted more beats than they wanted rhymes. Not gonna dispute that. But at the same time, bro, he had more. Why the fuck he still rep that shit? When the last time you seen Kanye with a Rockefeller chain on? You can't remember. But he still rep that shit. He'll still say Jay my big homie, Jay my big brother, all that other shit. Like, bro, and the reason why I defend it so much because people come in my mentions talking about you a Jay-Z dick sucker, you a dick rod and all that other shit. I did not go to college. I dropped out of high school in the 9th grade, right? So could you imagine dropping out of high school in the 9th grade, being told you would not be shit, going to a label that you looked up to and bought all their music as an 18-year-old kid that you was once delivering mail to, now you work there. That's my fraternity. You know what I mean? I always say Rockefeller's my college, state property was my fraternity.
Right.
You know, so like I'm always gonna defend that and rep that.
A lot of documentaries, though, if you know anything about what's going on behind the scenes, it's so clear how they make it intentionally deceptive to create a narrative.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the fact that everybody talks about that moment where it seems like nobody at Rockefeller believes in Kanye, that's so important to the narrative that they're trying to paint in that documentary that the facts don't matter to the people because it's such good documentary making to make that shit seem so extreme.
What's the crazy thing about it though is when Jay and Dame split, there was really no more Rockefeller. It was just a name and change. It wasn't no more Rockefeller. They got rid of the whole staff. Everybody who was working, was working there, was inserted at different places. Right. Some people took jobs at Def Jam. For me, I went to working back in a fucking mailroom. You know what I mean? I didn't have shit to do. And Kanye, at that point that he had already built himself he put out College Dropout and Late Registration. He had a whole Rockefeller staff at that time. By the time, what was the next album after that? Graduation. By the time he did Graduation, it was no more Rockefeller staff. So he had already did all his heavy lifting there. You know what I'm saying? Like he already did his heavy lifting there. But the thing about it is that Rockefeller was and forever is a part of his legacy. Same as mine. Like, you know what I mean? It's so funny because people always say shit like, I told you this before that I never wanted to be a public figure.
Yeah.
Like this, it happened for me, right? So it's like sometimes I just want to share my opinion about shit because I'm a human being like everybody else, but people would tell me everything I ain't. Without knowing nothing about my story, tell me, a dude said like, he's like, Kanye's a billionaire. Fuck is you talking about? I'm like, nigga, you ain't a billionaire neither. I know I got more money than you.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
that's a bizarre standard to place upon people is if somebody has more money than you, then you're not allowed to criticize their behavior.
Or
Seems
to say,
very bad for society.
Or to say that if you're not a billionaire, which it ain't, but so many, it's 2 handfuls of motherfuckers in the world,
right.
To say that you ain't did nothing with your life or you ain't successful, which is ridiculous. But at the same time, I don't give a fuck about that because you wanna know why, bro? Like I've been through the worst of the worst to be able to do the bare minimum, and my family lives great off of Wayno.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like I don't care about none of that shit. I don't get caught up on
Putin's a billionaire.
Huh?
I would assume, right?
Putin?
I mean, we should feel comfortable
is that
criticizing
going
his.
On?
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry for my ignorance. I just like.
I'm just saying, a lot of the most evil people in history
Dr. Evil
were
was a
extremely
billionaire,
rich.
right?
Yeah. Like, I don't know how much money Hitler had, but I'm going to assume it was a lot.
Hell yeah, he had money because it's all about manipulation.
Okay, guys, we want to thank you so much for getting us to 100,000 subscribers right here on the Clips channel. If you want to support, please click that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 200K. Thank you. Thank you so much.